Okay, so if we're still completing the square today, then our first step, what should be added to our steps from yesterday? Find the GCF first, right? Factor out that GCF. So if we factor out this GCF, I would get 3 times x squared plus 2x plus 9 equals 0. So now all we really have to deal with is this equation right here. So tell me, is this a perfect square already? How do we know? Okay, because b is 2, and if we divide 2 and 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 1 squared is 1, right? So it doesn't match. So what's our first step over here? Move the constant to the right. How can I move that constant to the right? Good job, guys. The inverse of 9 is -9. So when I do that, I would get x squared. Whoops, my color didn't change. X squared plus 2x plus what? Plus a blank, because we're going to create our own square, equals -9 plus a blank. In the last class they said, oh, you mean we really are creating a square? You guys got that yesterday, right? Yeah. You are physically creating a square. Like over here, when we decided we were going to factor out a 3, we're left with an x squared, 2 x's, we split the 2 x's, and then we actually complete the square by adding 1. Okay. How do we find c? We just said it, but let's formalize it. Take 2, divide it by 2, equals 1, and you have to square it, equals 1. So we'll put a little side note out of here. You have to take b, divide it by 2, and square it. Correct? Okay, next step is add c to both sides. What's c? 1. We found c. It's 1. So we're going to take x squared plus 2x, and we're going to add 1 to both sides in those blanks. Now what do I do? We're going to do this right here. We're going to factor. And it's nice and easy, the fact that we also have this right here. This should match right here. Correct? So what would I put here? X plus 1 squared equals, bless you, equals what? -8. Next step. Uh-oh, look at my steps got messed up. Okay, so how do I take the square root of both sides? Simply put a square root over it. I know. Unfortunately, I don't know why right now. Okay, as I do this step, I'm going to factor at the same time. So I've got a negative 2 squared times 2. Good job, Method. So let's kick at our squares. I've got x plus 1 equals plus or minus 2 square root -2. Do I really want to split this up where it's x plus 1 equals positive 2 rad 2 and x plus 1 equals negative? No, I can't really simplify it anymore. So let's just subtract 1 from both sides, and we finally get x equals negative 1 plus or minus 2 root negative 2. For some reason, I can't get these to go up. Strange. Okay, questions on this? Okay, your turn. Would you go ahead and start with this equation just like it is? I wouldn't. You're going to have to move the constant, but before you do that, what makes this a little bit more complicated? Negative. How could I get rid of that? I could multiply the whole thing by negative 1. That's a good idea. So if I multiplied every single thing here by negative 1, didn't I just do the same thing for everybody? Can't I do that? So let's change the sign of everybody. So I'd make this x squared. What would this one become? Negative 8x. What would this one become? Positive 5. What would this one become? Negative 2. Now I think you guys can do each one of these steps. So go ahead and do those. Okay, so let's finish this up. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 squared is 16. Does that work? For this? No. So what do we have to do with this guy right here? We have to move it to the other side. How are we going to move it? Subtract 5 from both sides. So let's rewrite this. It's going to be x squared minus 8x plus what? Line equals negative 7 plus length. Let's find c. Negative 8 divided by 2 equals negative 4 squared equals 16. Let's add it to both sides. X squared minus 8x plus 16 equals negative 7 plus 16. Next, we factor. And the factors should match what? Should match the second step. So it should be x minus 4. Negative 7 plus 16 is 9. Take the square root. Square root of x minus 4 squared equals plus or minus the square root of 3 squared. Okay, kick out our squares and I get x minus 4 equals positive 3 or x minus 4 equals negative 3. When I solve for that, I get x equals what? 7 or x equals 1. Got it? Good job, guys.